London has long drawn immigrants, from the Romans and Vikings who came to conquer, to migrants from former colonies who came in search of a better life.
More recently, it's the finance hub of the City of London that's lured professionals from across Europe. It offers an open labour market and opportunities for the highly skilled to advance in the European financial centre. Many come to study or work just for a couple of years, but end up making their lives in the British capital.
Jen Larsen is Danish, but lives and works in London.
For me as a foreigner, working in London has been a great experience. It's also made it easy for an international couple to work here. My wife is Spanish, and it's a good place to live as a family. But first and foremost, it is the fact that the job market here is so flexible. The opportunities here are so good for a foreigner. I worked for the Bank of England in 12 years, and I think the thing that really strikes me most about the bank is just how passport blind an institution it is. There were certainly no restrictions on my career.
Official statistics don't track the number of highly skilled Europeans who set up home in London. But research estimates that for French people in the UK alone, the number doubled in the first decade of the century, and they're concentrated in London.
I left France in the middle of the 90s. This was a pretty tough economic environment at the time, still a recessionary environment, and a lot of young generations in France were looking abroad. The talk about the brain drain at the time was pretty much everywhere, and to the US, to the UK. And at the time, I looked for opportunities abroad, and I went to London with the hope to find a job opportunity, at least for a few years.
So how does the working culture differ?
Here in London, I don't mind working longer hours. Certainly, don't mind checking my BlackBerry late in the night or answering some questions from clients. And I think that's certainly this openness towards acceptance about the work attitudes. I think that makes it much easier in London to actually do work, and that's probably quite a bit of a difference compared to France.
Academics at the University of Middlesex have studied how the influx of French migrants in particular is changing London. Professor Louise Ryan co-authored the report with her colleague, Dr. John Mulholland.
Our participants spoke about the London labour market as a place of career escalation. They talked about the fact that it rewarded talent, that it was a meritocracy. Unlike France and the French labour market, which was often talked about as quite closed and hierarchical, it took a long time to build your career, whereas in London, if you worked hard and you were talented, you could get on quickly.
But London cannot take this steady flow of talented foreigners for granted. There is stiff competition from rival financial centres.
Centres like Hong Kong and New York certainly have a particular attraction for migrants highly skilled in the financial sectors. These are areas where they can develop their career and gain new experience in emerging economies, for example, in Asia. Nonetheless, we have to acknowledge that London has particular advantages. It's in the European Union, it has geographical proximity to France, which is very attractive for people who want to maintain close links with their families. Therefore, while going to New York or Hong Kong might be a short-term career escalation, London is often regarded as a place where they can put down roots and bring their families and build a family life here.
London may be a richer place culturally and financially thanks to its foreign professionals, but as it battles it out with other financial centres, it can't afford to take those workers for granted. Hannah Kuchler, Financial Times.